Yes guys, what's going on? Joey from North here. Welcome to episode 1 of the South of Heaven podcast. Joined today by my guest, Dean Caffrey. You might know Dean from some of his business ventures, 1% Forest, and he's got a clothing line as well called Character Floors. So Dean, how's it going, man? You all good?
I'm very well. Very hot, very warm.
How are you? It's a warm one today, mate. I'm pretty sweaty, man. Like we were saying before, man, would have been nice to have a few little beers or something like that, you know what I mean? To
professional setting though, innit?
That's it, mate, but it's still nice to take the edge off, man, innit? So, if you just want to introduce yourself a little bit, mate, tell people about your businesses and your projects and stuff that you're involved with, that'd be great.
Yeah, so like I say, my name's Dean. I've got my hand in a few pies. I full-time, most of my energy goes into my coffee shop and cocktail bar, which is 1% Forest, Walton Village. It's a crazy time with the pandemic and things like now, but that's where a lot of my energy goes in. Long days, but it's what I've got a lot of experience in. It's what I love to do. Then on my side, on my spare time, as you say, I started Character Floors earlier this year, probably the worst week ever.
It
was mid-March. So it's been interesting trying to get a business going in a pandemic and keep one afloat in a pandemic. And then on the side from that, I DJ a lot, and I'm in a band, play drums in a band, and in a weird way they're all completely different from each other, and another way they all kind of intertwine and help each other out.
Yeah, I could imagine, man. Definitely. So 1% Forest, I mean, I've been, man, Icelandic themed sort of coffee bar, cocktail bar. So where did the sort of inspiration come for that sort of theme around, you know, the Icelandic theme, and you know, where did you sort of find the sort of inspiration to do that?
It was accidental.
Yeah.
To be honest, you know, it's myself and my fiance Hannah that own the place, and we're just over 2 years old now. And she comes from a very similar background to me. She's worked in hospitality in Liverpool for a long time, and if you talk to most bartenders and baristas and things like that, they've always got a dream to go, you know.
Yeah, man. That's how we met, wasn't it? You know, I remember
across the bar.
Across the bar, man. Used to be there's a bar in Liverpool called Tobacco, and me and my mates always used to frequent there, a couple of pints, and had a couple of mates who knew Dean. So always knew if Dean was on the bar, he'd always show us a good time, you know what I mean? Good hospitality. And then
I always remember you getting Jaeger bomb pictures about that big.
Yeah, man.
Them. They were made for 4 people, and you used to come. How many glasses do you want? I'll just have one.
Just one, man. Just a straw, lad. Don't need a glass. But yeah, man, good times in the tobacco and stuff like that. So was that always, when you were sort of working in bars and stuff like that, had you always sort of had that dream of, like you were saying, and like sort of, you know, owning your own bar or sort of working for yourself?
I think most people do, you know, especially I started in my late teens, I'm now in my late 20s, so there's a point where you kind of looking a little bit more to the long game, I think, and especially if you love what you do, you kind of go, how can I stop working for other people and do this myself, whether it's for the creative control aspect of it, or whether it's for, you know, the monetary aspect, whatever. But I think a lot of people kind of have that goal, and a lot of them don't execute on it. And me and Hannah were deadly serious. Yeah. We had a little bit of money, we had a vision, and then the Scandinavian kind of Icelandic aspect come through purely incidental with it. It's where we went. Yeah. You know, we went on holiday there, we fell in love with the place. Our next holiday, we thought, where should we go? Let's go somewhere. We ended up booking Iceland again. Our next holiday, we were right, let's go somewhere that's not -4. Yeah. We booked Iceland again.
Bloody hell, yeah.
So
you really loved it there then?
So, it was just one of those places that we just kept going back, and it wasn't just the place, it wasn't just the food or the drinks, it was just the culture and the style of service. It's just, have you ever been?
I've not been, man. No, I've not been.
It's just such a different world, and the people are amazing. They're so lovely, so happy, and everything's so relaxed and calm. And then you come down here, you walk into a Costa, and there's like 3 babies screaming. There's people throwing their soy milk frappuccinos over each other, and you're like,
oh man,
you know what? So we hit a point where we're like, this bar, this coffee shop, whatever it's going to be, let's bring these things we love into it.
Yes, yeah.
And it's hard because it's not a tangible thing to put on paper. So it's really hard to kind of duplicate that idea, but I think we do it quite well.
That's great, man. I think it's a really unique concept as well, you know. There's, I mean, I can't think of any other Icelandic themed bars, sort of, especially around here. And but you've got it as well in Walton Village. It's a really lovely setting, man, you know what I mean? Like, it's perfect for where it is and what it does in the sort of the community that it serves, mate, you know what I mean? And obviously,
we never meant for it to be in Walton.
No.
We always, coming from a Liverpool city centre background, we always, myself and Hannah, thought Liverpool's where it's at. City centre's where you'd open a bar. You can open a bar, you open it in town, don't you? And, we live in Walton, have done since about 2013, and as the years went on and the actual idea of opening become a little bit more of a reality, we thought, actually, why don't we just open this on our doorstep? Walton's a lovely area. There was a little bit of a gap in the market for cool cocktails, nice coffee, chilled vibe. 22 seats, so it's not the biggest of places, and luckily, when we were just about ready, we came across this nice little unit, which lovely, then became 1% Forest.
That's cool, man. Like you say, I think, to be honest as well, 22 seats, like you say, it's not the biggest, but it's a nice size. You wouldn't really want it any bigger, I don't think, anyway. But I mean, I don't know, maybe you would, man. So, obviously, this podcast, you know, it's mainly all about business and stuff like that. We want to try and get everything out on paper and stuff. So, what would you say your biggest success has been with 1% Forest? What's like the one thing where you can say, man, I'm super proud of doing that?
I mean, again, it's a hard thing to kind of pin down and put on paper because with every success, I think you raise the bar. Yeah, for sure. So then there's always another goal. There's always something next to achieve. So we've always kind of set the bar high in, you know, the highest thing we could get is for you to come into our place, have a drink, have a little bite to eat, leave, and then go and tell your friends, go and tell your family. That for us is success. But then as a business venture, you know, there's hitting goals, there's making sure everyone that works for us wants to work for us. We always kind of said that we never ever learned what to do in business working for other people. We always learned what not to do. So there's been times when I've been in other jobs and I've went home really disheartened for whatever reason. And I've actively thought, you know what, if I ever had my own place, if I ever ran my own company, I don't want to do that. And sometimes it's at the expense of money, sometimes the expense of time. But I think success for us, as defined, is just a good workplace ethic, good goals, both front scenes, behind the scenes. And just constantly pushing it forward. Never being content with, this is great, we're just going to plateau. Always pushing boundaries. Always want to push yourself, man. Definitely, you know, I think that's one of the most important things, always in business, is you've always got to sort of have that goal in mind. It doesn't have to be a crazy goal. So I mean, so like my sort of personal goal that I've got, there's like a small goal for North, is that I want to hit a certain amount of sales every month. I'm sure that's like a basic goal for every business has got, you know what I mean? But when you hit that sort of, that number, it's boss, you feel great. Do you know what I mean? But then, on the flip side of that, when you don't hit that number, you can feel a bit bummed out about it. But that's what's pushing you on to get to that next sort of, that next level. That's the judgment of you judging yourself, though. And if you have a great month, I'm sure you give yourself a pat on the back. Whereas if you have a bad month, I'm sure you beat yourself up over it. And definitely. You got to take the good with the bad. 100%, man. But you need to get that sort of, that energy and use that to spur you on to, you know, push yourself to onto that next goal. So let's flip it on its head then. So we've talked about sort of what you define as success. What's been, I don't want to use the word failure, but what's been your sort of biggest learning experience? I'm sure there's been many. I've had many with my business, you know. But daily, like I say, it's a huge learning curve, and I don't think you ever stop. Just when you think you've figured things out, something can happen. I mean, look at March 2020. Yeah, man. Yeah, 100%. You've got to adapt. You've got to change. The first 6 months of even before we even opened were probably the most stressful. You know, applications. There's a lot of talking. There's a lot of networking. There's a lot of making sure. You know, what ifs, and a lot of it does live in your own head. But, you know, that doesn't mean it's any less of a reality. How stressful it can be. So that initial setup, making sure you've got your vision as clear as possible. Because you can open it, what you think is great business, and it can be what you want to do, but at the end of the day, if nobody wants to come to it, then it's not going to last long.
That's it, mate. Like, that's one, like, the biggest sort of... I get a lot of people messaging me on Instagram and Facebook and stuff, or just even asking me, you know, what's it like to... Especially with clothing companies, because everyone wants to set up a clothing line, you know what I mean? And that's boss. People should be able to do that, and I think it's great.
Yeah.
But you need to have that clear vision sort of in your head on where you sort of want to go with it.
Yeah.
I think it's the same for any business, do you know what I mean? You need to sort of have that,
well,
that clear goal.
In clothing and in bars and in coffee shops, they are saturated markets. There's enough of them, isn't there?
Yeah,
so like you say,
it's tough, man.
If you don't stand out, you're just going to sink.
Yeah, it's very, very tough.
And I think North does that so well.
Oh, man, I appreciate that, do you know what I mean? I really do appreciate that. That was always something that I struggled with, like, how could I sort of be the brand that sort of stood out compared to all the other brands out there.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's a lot of brands out there doing the same as what we do. Do you know what I mean? But locally, I feel like we've got like a good local following. And I feel like it's probably the same for 1% Forest as well. You know what I mean? Like, it's always going to have a good local following. Do you know what I mean? And that's what keeps me going. Like, I don't really care if I sell 1,000 t-shirts a week. I'm probably never ever going to do that. And like, that's just the reality of it. But I still get a buzz off going into town on a Saturday night and seeing some kid who I don't know wearing one of my t-shirts. I'm like, yeah, that's fucking
Mate,
sick.
I still get a buzz going into town on Saturday night seeing a kid wearing one of your t-shirts.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Cool, man. So we started to touch on sort of the clothing line aspect of it a little bit there. So where was the inspiration to set up your own clothing brand, Character Floors?
It come from a number of places, and I'd say, might be controversial, but one of the last places it come from is actually other clothing brands. Like, for me, it's a bit more than that. Yeah,
man, because you've got the whole mental health aspect to it as well. We're going to touch on that a little bit, a bit later on, man.
But, I mean, yourself was a big influence. I mean, North's been around for a long time.
Yeah, man.
And,
8 years now.
8 years. Yeah. And I think I've been along for a lot of the journey in North. And, you know, every time I think, oh, you know what, I think I need something new in my wardrobe, the first place I go is the North.
I appreciate that, man.
So I'd honestly say that, you know, what you do has always been a big influence.
Man, that means a lot, you know, because that was always something that I really wanted to do. Always wanted to inspire other people to go out and do like you say, we talked about it a bit before, you touched on it, do what you love doing.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If you're in a job and you're not happy, but you've got something that you're good at, well, why not try and make a bit of money from it?
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be like clothing related or design related or anything. It could be, I don't know, you could be really good with cars or whatever. Well, why not try and like do a bit of mechanic work on the side or something like that?
Yeah, 100%. And I think aside from clothing lines and the mental health aspect of what we wanted to do, just kind of culture, like skateboard culture, band culture.
Yeah.
Been in bands since the second I could play an instrument, and just being surrounded by that, you don't realise bands are businesses, and you know, every band has their merch, and the first thing you do when you go and see a band is there's an image, and you know, looking at their t-shirts and looking at things, you always go, oh, that'd be cool if I could have my own brand like that. Man. I love that design.
It's interesting you brought that up, you know, because there's a few bands that I can think straight away that do a really, really good job at that.
Yeah.
So, While She Sleeps, are fucking really good at that. They've basically turned their merch into like their own clothing company called like Sleeps Co. And it's boss, but like where they've sort of really hit the nail on the head is that the designs aren't necessarily like your typical like metal designs, do you know what I mean? They've definitely got all that sort of aspect to them, but you could walk down the street and see like a Sleeps Co t-shirt in like a shop and be like, yeah, that's a nice t-shirt. Wouldn't necessarily associate it with the band. Yeah. But you know, if you walk down the street and you see someone with a Sleeps Co t-shirt on, man, that guy likes while she sleeps, you know what I mean? Like, that's like a cool thing.
I think a lot of it comes from that kind of aspect of growing up around the heavier metal side of things, especially in the UK when you had like Bring Me the Horizon in the mid-2000s, bringing their clothing lines out, and you're like, what? You can do both. You had like Tom DeLonge doing Atticus and things like that.
Yeah, man,
and you're like, what? So you can be in a band and then you can do this as well. Famous Stars and Straps, you know. There's a lot of that, I'd say, that I'd never thought would influence me, but I grew up around it, so it definitely did.
multiple aspects to it, mate. You know what I mean? That's it. Definitely got to have sort of multiple prongs to your fork type of thing. So, obviously, we talked a little bit about character flaws there, and we talked a little bit about goals and stuff like that. So, I know it's a fairly new business. What sort of goals have you got for that going forward?
First of all, we need to, I say we, as the collective we, as in I, need to just kind of keep the initial momentum going, because it's hard to launch.
Yeah, man, I was going to ask you about that. Have you sort of found setting up a clothing company like from scratch? I know you had a bit of experience in graphic design and stuff like that in the past, but
yeah, I mean, it helps.
Yeah,
I'm a one-man team, as I think you probably are.
Yeah.
And you know, just managing designs and then you know, orders and distribution when everywhere's closed, every factory, every warehouse is closed, and there's no way you can postage. Like, the whole doing it in the last 5 or 6 months has been difficult.
Yes.
But interesting in the same way that kind of coming back to the failure success thing, it's a massive learning curve, and
definitely, man.
With every day you go, okay, maybe we didn't do that so well yesterday. Could I do that better tomorrow?
Yes.
So if I would have started 12 months ago, maybe we'd be running a little bit more than we're walking now. But
thing is, don't mate, like it's a marathon. It's not a sprint.
Exactly. 100%.
Do you know what I mean? Like I say, I've been doing North now for 8 years. There's not much I probably don't really know about running a clothing line, and sort of I've seen a lot of clothing lines come and go as well.
Yeah.
The biggest reason I'd say why people sort of stop doing them or just think, nah, I'll leave that, it's because they don't make loads of money overnight. Everyone thinks, man, I'm going to make tons of money overnight, and it's never ever the case.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fortunate that I do have, you know, my normal income.
Yeah.
And the monetary aspect was never even crossed my mind.
That's it, man. It was the same for me. You know what I mean? When I first started out,
and that's why I thought, you know, it's not necessarily a not-for-profit company, but I can honestly sit here and tell you I don't ever intend to take a penny out of that company.
Yeah.
Because that's not what it was intended to do.
No, it was just more like a passion project, would you say?
100%.
Yeah, man.
I mean, what's better than a passion project?
That's it, mate. Like keeps coming back again to it, Dean. Do what you love, mate. Do you know what I mean? Do what you love. That's it, man. So the mental health aspect of the business, super important. Do you know what I mean? We've all probably suffered with bouts of mental health, or we all probably know someone who has, or we probably will go through at some point in our lives. So why was that an important part of the business for you to concentrate on with character flaws? Because you give some money from every sale to Calm Zone, isn't it?
Yeah, Calm, the campaign against living miserably, the UK charity which donates most of its money to into therapy and helping, like you say, mental health. They mainly aim themselves at males because there's a huge suicide rate in males under 40 in the UK, as there is the rest of the world. But like you say, everyone has had some kind of spout of, whether it lasts for 2 days or 2 years, or you're going through it now and you know, you're in your 60s. Whether it's good or bad, mental health affects everyone, and everyone needs to wear clothes. So why not combine the two?
Definitely, mate.
And it's not going to exclusively be Calm. We've got a new range of products coming out in a few weeks that, you know, some of the benefits, some of the money goes to different charities, and a lot of what we want to do wants to kind of inspire. So the likes of this t-shirt I'm wearing now, ups and downs, it says, and the whole idea is, you know, mental health and talking about it and the stigma around it shouldn't be all doom and gloom.
No.
You should be able to have honest, open, maybe even comical conversations about things. And
yeah, I agree, man, especially as men. I think as men, you know, I've been there myself, mate, you know what I mean? I'm not ashamed to say it. Like, you just bottle things up because you think, well, don't want to talk about that because I don't want to seem like I'm being weak or whatever, or don't want them to think I'm being a pussy, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and you're afraid people might not want to listen either. And in the long run, I want to kind of create the community with that. So you know, as you build a social presence, as you build followers and fans and customers, these are repeat customers who will, you know, hopefully one day walk down the street, see somebody in a similar t-shirt, conversation.
Yeah.
You know, just spark that conversation and get people talking, rather than, like you say, bottle it all up.
That's it, mate. It's like you say, it's all about building that community, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've got that community aspect to it, man. I think that's super important. Any business that you're doing, if you've got that community aspect to it, it's boss, mate. Like, a brand who does that really well, Johnny Cupcakes.
Oh, yes. I know.
So, like, Johnny Cupcakes, it's not that big in the UK, but, like, if you see someone wearing, like, a Johnny Cupcakes t-shirt, you know, like that, you can go and speak to that person, do you know what I mean? That's that's a cool tee, do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And always chat with you, man.
I there's nothing more than that just makes me feel great than walking down a road and seeing somebody wearing a band t-shirt, especially if it's not a big band.
Yeah.
And it's a smaller band. There's just a common ground that straight away you just go, my guy.
Yeah, especially in Liverpool, man. Like, the metal scene and sort of the alternative scene in Liverpool, it's not like the biggest of scenes.
Yeah.
So, like, if you to see someone like that you probably don't know wearing like a band t-shirt or something like that, you're gonna be like, man, like, who's this guy? Like, I want to go and speak to him. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. And
or just let on to him. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a good, like, if you like see someone wearing like an Alexis on Fire t-shirt or something like that, you can go like, know what I mean? Like, give him a little nod and that to say like, yeah, that's a sound t-shirt, man. So obviously, you know, we talked a bit about character flaws there, the mental health aspect of it and stuff like that as well. You said you've got some new products coming out. So where do you sort of see the brand going forward in the future?
So
in terms of like your product lines and stuff like that, you're gonna stick with t-shirts or you're gonna try and expand it out to like hoodies and stuff like that? And
oh yeah, definitely expand. At the moment, it's literally just t-shirts.
Yeah, man.
In terms of clothing, we launched some prints recently.
Yeah, man, I've got a print in, man, got the Jimmy Eat World one. Yeah, sick, man. Got it all framed up. I'll send you the picture.
Yeah, they're a similar thing. You know, the pop punk lyrics that on paper you probably never actually thought about. You know, the Jimmy Eat World one is "Don't Write Yourself Off Yet."
Yeah.
And I mean, how many times have you heard that song? It's a great,
like you don't
fun
think
song,
about
isn't it?
Man. Yeah.
But then if you actually think of the lyrics, you go, all right, okay, this song might have a little bit of a deeper meaning. But in the long run, yeah, there's no limitations. The sky's the limit. Expand into anything, whether that's prints. I was going into winter, so probably hoodies, things like that. The sky's the limit.
That's it, man. That's it. You know, I think it's important to get them product lines out there and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'll definitely have a hoodie off you, man. Like, the designs that you've been putting out recently have been top notch, mate. Very, very nice.
Yeah.
Like I say, I've got that Character Floors t-shirt with the skulls on the back, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I got that printed especially for you.
Ah, what a legend.
That was thank you.
Ah, nah, that's all good, man. If anyone doesn't know, I did a design for Dean's Bar, 1% Forest, with it's got like a bottle and an axe.
Yeah, it's cool.
On it, man, hasn't it? It's
but we did the print run for them, and what I didn't know is you're a double XL.
Yeah. And
so I was
a big boy, man.
Small, I'll get some medium, large. Didn't get double XL. I remember going, oh no, this guy.
Yeah.
Joey's did this for us.
Yeah.
Amazing design, and he can't even wear a t-shirt. So when I did the print run of some of the Character Floor stuff, I thought, you know what, I know a guy that'll appreciate this.
Oh man, I loved it. You know, I didn't even expect it to come through the post, and then it came through, and I was just like, oh, look what's come like that. I showed my girlfriend, I was like, yeah, that's sick. And she was like, oh, isn't that dead nice? He's got that printed. And I was like, yeah, that's exactly what Dean would do. He's a good guy.
Yeah, appreciate
He's a really,
that.
really nice guy. Nah, man, it's good, man. It's been a pleasure to chat to you. So we put a little poll out on Instagram to ask whether anyone had any Instagram questions.
Okay.
Only had one response.
Okay.
But it's an interesting question, man. Doesn't really fit in with anything that we spoke about today, but I'll ask it anyway.
Go on.
So John wants to know, what's your favourite sandwich?
Oh, what a guy.
What a question.
I mean, how long have you got?
You got all day, man.
It depends. Like, if it's a lunchbox sandwich and I'm in year 6, it's just a straight up cheese and tomato sandwich.
Easy.
If you're talking Tesco meal deal, maybe chicken bacon, chicken salad.
Yeah.
If I'm feeling a little bit adventurous. You know, if you're talking nice coffee shop kind of grilled sandwich, some kind of grilled Reuben, something with hot cheese and meat.
Oh, I like it, man.
I could be here all day.
You've got multiple options, man. I like it. So I'm going to go for a little controversial one here. So, pretty much when I first started out with North, the reason why I started out with it, I was working in Subway.
Oh, yeah.
And I like Subway, man. Like, it was an okay job, do you know what I mean? But it wasn't what I wanted to do, do you know what I mean? And I was like, right, I'll set up this business and maybe I can work for myself, do you know what I mean? And obviously this was years ago, but the sandwich I always used to go for, it sounds disgusting, but it's proper tasty. Tuna mayo with pepperoni.
Yeah, you're right, that does sound disgusting.
Oh my, no, but get on this, lad, right? You bite into it and you get the spiciness of the pepperoni.
Yeah.
But then you just get the creaminess of the mayo, lad, like the tuna mayo.
You've done this before, haven't you?
Oh my God. Spot on, lad.
And if you're working at Subway, I'm guessing you're having 4 or 5 of them a week.
Oh, you used to get a free sarnie every day.
Oh, God.
Honestly, lad, I was big now, but I was bigger back then, lads, because it was too easy. Do you know what I mean? You go in, you get your big foot-long sarnie, and you get your unlimited Cokes and all that. Boss, lads.
The dream.
Boss, living the dream, mate, living the dream. Might go back to Subway, lad. I get free t-shirts now off North, do you know what I mean?
That's your passion project.
Yeah.
Tuna pepperoni sandwich.
That's it, man. I maybe need to take that on the road, lad. Sack the t-shirts off, mate, and I'll get into the sandwich game again, man. Definitely. But nah, man, I think we've, we touched on everything there that I wanted to talk about.
Amazing.
Is there anything that you sort of want to leave us with? Where can we find you on like social media and stuff like that for your businesses?
Yeah, so if you want a 1% Forest, literally type in 1% Forest, all spelt out on all the usual Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, website.
Yeah.
I haven't done a TikTok yet, but you never know.
No, you never know, man. You never know. Could be
around the corner.
Could be coming, man. Yeah, definitely.
Character Flaws the same. Character Flaws UK on most things. Mm-hmm. And yeah, hopefully we can do something in the future.
I'd love that, man. Yeah, I would definitely love that. I would definitely love to collaborate, man. Like I say, any brands out there as well don't want to collaborate. You know what I mean? Like always coming to slide into the DMs. You know what I mean? And
I think that's the best part of kind of the world we're in. Is collaborations.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Do you know what, mate? Like I've got to give props to a guy that I spoke to on a different podcast not too long ago. A guy called Ian. He runs a band called Doom and Gloom. Mm-hmm. He sort of helped open my eyes to sort of being open to working with other people. I'm not too sure if it's like this in other businesses, but I know in the sort of in the clothing line game, it's very sort of play your cards close to your chest. So when I first started out, I always wanted to get windbreakers made, yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's quite easy to get them sourced and stuff now, but back in the day, you couldn't get them. Do you know what I mean? It was really tough to sort of find someone that would do them for you, especially the button-up ones. I approached loads of brands who had them. Where'd you get these made? Not telling you. And it's like, why? Do you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, there's a big enough market out there for everyone.
Yeah.
Why not just help each other out?
Yeah.
So because I've sort of seen the brands that I sort of looked up to doing that, I was like, well, that's how it must be. Do you know what I mean? But as a person, I'm not like that. I like helping people.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's only really been recently when I spoke to this guy here, and he runs Doom and Gloom. I put the link to his Instagram and stuff like that in the description of this. But he sort of helped open my eyes to sort of the idea of sort of everyone working together, like a big community.
I think it's the only way. And I know what you say. There's a lot of industries are like that, especially in the creative world.
Yeah.
Bands, musicians can be very quick to judge and look the other way, and just hide behind things. No, I do it better. I don't want to give you my trade secrets. At the end of the day, there's no secrets. Skill and
hard work
will take over everything. And there's a guy I love called Gary V, and he always refers to it as the 8 mile tactic. At the end of 8 Mile, when Eminem just lays all his cards on the table and starts saying, well, I do live with my mum, I do this, I do that, I do that. And he just takes the leverage out the equation.
Well, there's a fire there, lads.
Go on, then.
Get a little
and that's exactly where, if you can do that, help people you can. Because I know when I started businesses, I asked for help of a few people.
Yeah.
And I never heard back. And it's hard, it's tough, man, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely tough, mate. So I would say anyone out there who wants to sort of speak about setting up a business or fucking hell, you might see a product on the website and think, man, where did you get that made?
Yeah.
Message me, man, or I'm sure Dean's the same, you know, if you need any advice on what the stuff that Dean does, do you know what I mean? I'm sure they can reach out to you as well, man.
Just reach out and message anyone.
Yeah.
What the worst they can do is say no.
Yeah, no one's above anyone, man. That was another big thing as well. Like, I was like, oh man, this guy's got this really cool clothing line. What if I message him and he thinks I'm a bit lame, do you know what I mean? Bit of a nerd.
Yeah.
If it doesn't get back to you, so what?
Yeah.
Who's asked, do you know what I mean? It's all in your head, mate, exactly. Yeah. It's all in your head, mate. But nah, man, that's been good. So what I'll do, Dean, is I'll put your links and stuff like that down below in the description of the video, mate. Everyone can check it out on social media, check out the website. Go and buy a t-shirt from Character Flaws as well. And if you find yourself in Liverpool, make sure you get down to Walton Village, 1% Forest. Or you can catch Dean DJing as well. Mainly like Crazy Pedros and stuff like that, isn't it?
Anywhere that'll let me play what I want to play.
That's it, man.
Which usually is the place where I can play hip-hop and rock.
Yeah.
Side by side.
He does some good metal nights as well, so if you're into your metal, get down, he'll play some heavy tunes for you.
I've seen you time to time.
That's it, man, that's it. Headbanger on the dance floor with me picture of Jaeger bomb there, man, with the big straw. Love it, man, yeah. No, thanks very much, for coming on.
You're welcome, thanks for having me.
So yeah, this has been South Heaven Podcast, episode 1. If you liked it, leave a little like, subscribe, comments. This is my first YouTube video, so I don't know what you're meant to do, but you know what to do, just do it.
Smashed it.
Peace.